A truck carrying a mysterious crate was on its way to the county museum. This truck had a very specific cargo, a suit of armor that some say came to life under the light of the full moon. Welcome to Mysteries in the Machine.
Meddling kids. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Ethan.
And this is Mysteries in the Machine. Are you?
Ooh.
Woo. We're a very serious podcast here. Clearly.
We are.
What is happening? We're talking about Scooby-Doo.
Indeed. Starting at the very beginning and eventually getting up to the current day. And if any other Scooby-Doo media happens to be releasing throughout that time, we'll probably take a break and cover that.
It'll only take like 20 years.
Hey, just means we'll have plenty of content. That's all that matters here.
It also means that it'll take that long to get to Velma.
Honestly, the longer we can wait to do that, the happier I will be.
But Ethan, it'll only take like 2 years before we get to Scrappy. I'm sorry.
God damn it. Okay, you know more about Scrappy than I do, because my only experience with Scrappy-Doo is the 2002 live-action movie, and that's what made me hate him.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, it's our first episode. Let's go into like some of our Scooby-Doo history.
Sure.
Okay? Please do.
Yep.
Please tell me how you got into this.
Actually, it was a kind of a staple of my childhood. At least some of it was. There's still quite a bit of Scooby-Doo media that I have not seen. As a brief perusal of the Wikipedia list of Scooby-Doo media has made me very aware of, as we were discussing before we got on this call, I would say I've probably seen only like 10% of all Scooby-Doo media that exists.
Okay. If you want to be like, I've only seen this much of all Scooby-Doo media that exists, bro, you're not going to have seen, like, you consumed all of it. It's fine.
Right.
It's okay. Like, only the super fans will have consumed all of it.
Right.
It came out in 1969.
Right. It's older than my parents.
You were supposed to say nice, because I said 69.
Oh, nice.
And, like, isn't that a perfect date for it to, like, have come out, right?
Scooby-Doo's older than the moon landing, I'm pretty sure. Wait, no. Is it? Hold on.
Was the moon landing?
Moon landing was in July of 69.
Okay. I was like, I know that happened.
Okay. It's not older than the moon landing, but it's not much younger than it either.
I knew both of these things happened around the time my mother was born. So
it was probably in development when the moon landing happened, but it hadn't been released yet.
Plot twists like Scooby-Doo and the moon landing are connected.
We love that.
Theories that people have.
Honestly, if Scooby-Doo in Space doesn't exist, it should.
Oh, it does.
Okay.
There have been episodes, there have been movies, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I have zero doubt about that.
And of course, there's always Space Kook.
True.
The infamous Space Kook.
Of course.
Who is basically just a Doctor Who villain, too.
You would know.
I would.
But kind of jumping off of Space Kook, my history with Scooby-Doo did start with the OG series Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Beautiful!
Because I rented it on DVD from Blockbuster when I was a kid.
You've aged yourself.
I know. I'm old. I'm 23, but I'm a baby.
I was going to say, you're still a baby to me.
I'm only 3 years younger than you. That's not that much.
I knew you when you were a teenager, Ethan. You were a baby.
You did, but not for very long.
You were a baby.
I was baby. I am baby no longer.
Well, that's good. You started with Where Are You? And then, like,
yes.
Just
and then I just kind of watched that for a while because around the time that I would have been like the perfect demographic for Scooby-Doo, that's when Mystery Incorporated happened. And that was that was a Scooby-Doo that I really got into, was Mystery Incorporated. And of course, I've seen the 2 live-action movies and a few of the like direct-to-video animated movies, but there's a lot of them. Some of them I didn't even know existed until a few minutes ago.
You're welcome. Now you know how much Scooby-Doo and Batman content there is.
I'm here for it, honestly.
Scooby-Doo, is basically the third of the dynamic duo, actually. They're the dynamic trio now.
We love that. Now I'm imagining Scooby-Doo in a Robin costume, which I would not be surprised if that's happened.
Okay, what I'm remembering is Scooby in a Batman costume, actually.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'm literally referencing things that happened in, the new Scooby-Doo movies right now, so...
We'll get there.
Where my Scooby-Doo story started, I'm still not totally sure. I just remember Scooby-Doo in my life as a small child. And funny story, I would be like, oh my goodness, I'm scared of ghosts around every corner now. I was terrified of it, actually.
Yeah, the Space Kook, speaking of which, that terrified me for a long time. Specifically the laugh. The laugh terrified me.
As it should. Well, I'm also gonna, for a second, be like, hey, there's another podcast that I was on talking about Scooby-Doo.
You cheated on me?
I did, before we even started.
Before this happened. It's okay.
Actually, I'm cheating on Josh right now by making this podcast with you.
Oh no, Josh.
I'm so sorry. But I was on an episode of Super Scary podcast talking about, God, what is the movie called? Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers. That is one of the earliest movies that I can remember watching. And
in your life period?
In my life. I mean, I definitely watched a lot of Scooby-Doo as a child. I remember even seeing a pup named Scooby-Doo on TV. I watched Cartoon Network and Boomerang and whatever.
Oh, I watched a lot of Boomerang. That's how I watched reruns of Where Are You was on Boomerang.
Yeah, I
also watched a lot of the Jetsons, the Flintstones, other things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's watched all of that stuff. And, okay, so the terrifying, oh my god, I have to, describe this ghost. He's just, a Civil War general ghost, and he's just an old man, and he terrified me so much. Small child.
Which side of the Civil War was this man on?
He's from the South.
God damn it.
This is Shaggy's, distant uncle or something that he, gets this mansion from, and that's, how it starts, and he finds the mansion is haunted.
Huh.
Yeah. Shaggy also has, several uncles that he inherits things from, I think, in different Scooby-Doo media.
Hey, maybe Shaggy's family is Catholic, and there's just a lot of kids on his parents' side.
Maybe.
One of them.
Maybe.
Because, a lot of Catholic families I know have, lots of kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that does happen. But this was just, an old Civil War general who was, all grayed out, and he had glowing yellow eyes, and he spoke in a really terrible Southern accent, and he, terrified me as a small child. So, leave this place! Leave this place!
Depending on who you get to do it, a Southern accent can be really bad. Unless you're from the South, it's hard to get a specific Southern accent, or unless you've really, really trained to do it.
Yeah, so that movie, I think it was that movie that specifically traumatized me. But also I got more into Scooby-Doo as life went on, and I was like, what are you talking about? I was scared of this. I always loved it.
We love gaslighting ourselves into liking things.
Me being I was traumatized, but I also liked it, I guess. I don't know how this works.
That describes my experience with Scooby-Doo in general, and also Courage the Cowardly Dog, which does have a crossover with Scooby-Doo, I found out today. But we'll get there when we get there.
Oh yeah, we will. Yeah, so I just realized that I liked Scooby-Doo, and then I watched a bunch of it. And then, like I told you, I got this box set of the new Scooby-Doo movies. And I would rewatch that a lot, and I still have it, and I still rewatch it.
Which, again, never seen, ever. I'm sure that will change eventually, but...
So, of the Scooby-Doo shows I have seen, Where Are You? The new Scooby-Doo movies. At least, half of it. The Scooby-Doo show. The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, What's New Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, and Scooby-Doo and Guess Who.
Okay.
There's like a couple that I haven't sseen, like the Scrappy shows, because
I was going to say, you skipped over Scrappy entirely.
I don't recall seeing it as a child, and I was like looking into what the show was like, and I wasn't sure I really wanted to watch 5-minute segments of a show that only made people mad. So
yeah, listeners, I do not like Scrappy-Doo, and I will keep bringing that up whenever he happens to appear.
Again, Scrappy was in the Boo Brothers, so I actually remember liking him. In the media that I've seen him in, I think he was fine.
Does that include the live-action movie?
Oh, the live-action movie was specifically made to be like, hey, Scrappy sucks. And he's not at all like Scrappy in that movie, so...
Okay. Well, that's my only exposure to Scrappy-Doo so far, so maybe my mind will be changed. I don't know.
The only similarity is that he says puppy power.
Well, thank God he doesn't piss on everything.
No, he doesn't. No, he's just a little tiny dog.
He's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy, and he has no fear, like, more often than not.
Which is the complete opposite of his uncle, Scooby-Doo.
I know, that's why I think he's fun.
Okay, I can see that. Maybe once we get to the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show, and the new Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show, I'll like him more, but
and
right
maybe
now...
I won't.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
See. I like it. I remember liking him in 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, which, you know, that's one of my favorite Scooby-Doo shows besides Mystery Incorporated. So
Mystery Incorporated and Where Are You are pretty close to front runners for me.
Mystery Incorporated is probably the best Scooby-Doo show to exist. I will take no thoughts about it otherwise.
I mean, it leaned more into the, like, monsters are real aspect as opposed to the monsters are people.
Yeah. I mean, monsters are also people.
We can talk about the alternate universes theory at some point.
I mean, they're all alternate universes of each other. And they're
meaning, like, there's a universe where...
Oh, yeah.
Where monsters are people, and a universe where monsters are supernatural. That's what I'm talking about.
Interesting. I mean, I was gonna transition into, like, but, like, all people are monsters because people want to, like, steal land or something by dressing up in a costume and scaring people away. It's always about property.
Always. About property, money, art.
Yeah. What Scooby-Doo villain isn't here out trying to, like, get money? Name one.
The villain of Scooby-Doo is capitalism. You're to hear, folks.
Okay. I was about to be like, at Robert, we need a meme. And it's just the Fred unmasking the guy, and it's just capitalism.
Just capitalism. Yep, that's all it is.
That's it.
Capitalism's the villain of anything, really.
Absolutely.
If you dig deep enough, it's there.
Absolutely. Well, Ethan, you wanna talk about What a Night for a Night?
I would love to, Charlie.
Because I think that's what we're here for.
17 minutes into our recording.
We had to give the people a little bit about why we like Scooby-Doo, and it's because we were traumatized by it.
We were. But we gaslight ourselves into liking it.
It's fine. Scooby-Doo can gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
Gaslight gatekeep girl boss. I'm sorry, that was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Robust. I can't.
Oh my god. Listeners, okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm not. Not at all. You deserve this.
I'm sure my Scooby-Doo will get better as we go on, but that was absolutely dog shit. Pun intended.
Hey. Good. All right. Well, so what a night for a night. It is the first episode of Scooby-Doo.
The very first. So iconic. I was going to read the synopsis from HBO Max. Okay.
Because I thought it was kind of funny.
Okay, go for it.
Scooby and Shaggy stumble across a lone suit of black armor and embark on a quest to find the artifact's missing owner. It sounds so dramatic.
It does. It sounds way more dramatic than the episode actually ends up being.
Yeah. What did they actually do? They just, like, snuck into a museum one night?
Well...
To try to figure out what the fuck was going on?
Yeah. They snuck into a museum to figure out if the armor actually came to life.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it doesn't.
It doesn't. There's just a guy inside. It's fine.
It's just a guy.
It's just a little guy. So the theme song. Do we love it? Is it iconic?
I do. It is
beautiful?
Iconic. It is nostalgic. I am here for it. Absolute banger. Yes, I like 60s music. I like the Beatles, Bob Dylan vibes that are in the Scooby-Doo, Where Are You intro music. I actually miss when cartoons had like intro songs.
Right.
The most recent like actual theme song for a cartoon that I know of is Phineas and Ferb. I could be completely wrong about that, and maybe there's something else that's newer. But Universe. That was okay. Phineas and Ferb ran longer than Steven Universe did.
Yes, but Steven Universe was more recent.
True. Assuming you just started 10 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Steven Universe. That's fair.
Yes. I know this. I know these facts.
You do.
Yeah. It's a bop. And oh my god, I remember one of like these Halloween like mix CDs that was like a bunch of people. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Not even like
maybe not the exact one, but I know the vibe.
I don't think it was like an official version of the song necessarily, but it was like
it was a cover of it.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It was somebody's cover of the song, and it was just on one of those Halloween CDs.
Of course. Yeah. Scooby-Doo is spooky.
It is. It's spooky. It's ooky. It's great.
Creepy, kooky, mysterious and spooky, altogether ooky. Scooby-Doo.
Just wait for the Addams Family crossover.
I can't see why they haven't done that, honestly.
They have, Ethan. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, what? Hold on.
It is one of the only episodes I have not seen of the new Scooby-Doo movies.
Okay, hold on. Let me hop in there.
Wednesday is missing.
Wow. That is wild. We love that.
Literally.
It's the third episode of that series. That is crazy.
Yeah.
We love
after, the Three Stooges and Batman.
Just so many crossovers to start out. Oh, this show's whole deal was crossovers. That's crazy.
Seriously. That show is why I know is like that's how I got introduced to Don Knotts' existence.
I know about him through the Muppet Show.
But as a small child, like that's how I learned.
Again, I was also a small child. I found out about him through the Muppet Show.
I didn't watch the Muppets.
That's right. You hate the Muppets.
I watched Sesame Street.
Those are Muppets.
No, they're different.
Okay. Sure.
They're better.
You can have that opinion. That's fine.
I will. I'm now a preschool teacher. I will have that opinion.
That's fair. You'll probably see more of Sesame Street anyway.
Exactly.
In your working environment.
Okay. Scooby-Doo. It's going to be so fun because we're both neurospicy people.
Oh god, we're going to have so many tangents.
It's going to be worse than me and Robert. Actually, no. Me and Robert are actually very focused. It's going to be worse than me and Ray.
When you get two chaotic bisexuals on a call, shit's about to go sideways.
I need to stop podcasting with, like, neurospicy bisexuals.
You have a type, Charlie. Accept it.
I do have a type. Except you're the first cis man.
True. Shame. I'm sorry.
Oh, shame. Okay. Scooby-Doo.
We haven't even gotten into the actual episode yet.
We have not gotten to the actual fucking episode. It's
fine.
It's fine. Did I mention I'm going to be swearing on this podcast?
I've already sworn on this podcast.
I don't remember.
Well, I did.
Good. As you should. Okay. So, it does open with your little, like, spooky intro thing where, like, there's, like, a dude driving and there's a crate and, oh no, like, he, like, disappears. Cutscene. And he's gone.
Yep.
And then Scooby and Shaggy are walking home from the movies.
Where the fuck do they live where a movie theater is that out of the way?
They live in the van.
Then why aren't they taking the van? Why are they walking?
I don't know. I have like in this series there is no conceptual like space where they exist.
That's true. They exist somewhere. They're in theory supposed to be in high school as far as I know.
In theory? It's not clear.
Because Daphne mentions Shaggy being a gymnast at school.
She does in this episode.
Yeah,
and yet it's like I don't know. It's unclear when they're doing all of these things. Are they still going to school while they're doing this?
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah. Okay, I've heard like theories about like what's going on with the gang and like why they're all like this. I mean, everybody says like Shaggy's a stoner, obviously. Is
I
Shaggy?
thought that was obvious, but all right.
Yeah. Is this obvious?
Though
Yes.
my original theory that only Scooby can only talk to Shaggy because Shaggy's high, that was proven wrong in this episode.
That's like a popular theory, and yet I'm like, have you ever seen an episode of Scooby-Doo?
Right, because Fred talks to Scooby about giving him a Scooby stack. And Scooby responds, and there's clear communication between the two of them.
Yeah.
Also, Fred's not named in this episode at all.
No, he's
or Daphne,
not.
I don't think.
Oh goodness. I think it was just Fred. We're gonna talk about trivia. We'll talk about trivia. Let's talk about
there.
Let's talk about what's happening here. We have no conceptual for where anything is spatially right now because they're just randomly in the middle of the woods, I think.
Yep. We are just in media res right now.
And I do think that is beautiful that like that's where Scooby-Doo starts. It's just like we don't know why they're here. We don't know what their backstory is, but they're just gonna like go for it.
Yep. They're like, oh, there's a truck on the side of the road? What's going on with that?
Scooby-Doo is the definition of fuck around and find out.
Honestly, that's Shaggy and Scooby's whole character. At least in this episode and several dozen after this.
I think that's it. That's all they do.
They fuck around and everyone else finds out, including them. But still, finding out.
Usually they don't even find out. They're just told.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're gonna find this truck and be like, why is there a knight driving the car? Like, we didn't even see how this knight got into the front seat or where this man ended up.
I thought he ended up in the crate.
I was gonna say, is that the assumption? Is that he's in the crate?
That's what I thought happened.
Because that doesn't make sense for later. Because remember, they do like
go and
bring the knight to the museum.
Yep.
So wouldn't they know?
Yeah, they may not have opened the crate, but they did bring it inside. But also they got the armor back into the crate at some point.
Yeah. No, I don't think the man is in the crate. Where the man is unclear.
It is quite unclear. There's no continuity here.
There is none.
At all.
It is Scooby-Doo. If you see like the panels shifting behind them, it's because there's something happening. It's gonna jump out,
right.
You know?
Well, like the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You was made like relatively cheaply for a cartoon.
Oh yeah.
So like there's a lot of things that are like either inaccurate or like reused or things like that. Like
the animation errors alone is just like there's so many. Right. Like like I said, I grew up watching the new Scooby-Doo movies. The animation errors that I was like, this is normal. This is fine. Velma's voice can come out of Daphne's mouth. Like, whatever.
Yep. Or like when there's one point when Scooby's running and it looks like the background is moving slower than he is when we're supposed to be following him.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's fine. But we don't know where this man is. They don't know where this man is. They just know that there's a crate and there's a knight. Yep. What's up with that?
We don't know.
But we get our first clue.
They do get a clue as to where it was coming from and where we're supposed to be going.
Mm-hmm.
It was coming from London to their local museum for some reason. Why? We don't know.
We don't know. But it was the property of this professor, Professor Jameson Hyde White.
Which, like, got my wheels turning. Like, is this a reference to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Because that did not come to fruition here at all.
No, it's just, as Velma says, it's just an English name, silly, you know.
True.
Yeah, but I guess they, like, haul it into the mystery machine. We don't see that, but they go to the museum, and they give it to the curator.
Can you imagine the van ride with that in, like, I can't imagine that there was a lot of room because of how big that crate was.
As we see later in this episode, the mystery machine
is infinite.
Is absolutely infinite. Like,
there's like a pocket dimension inside the trunk of the mystery machine.
Fred pulls out a ladder like how Mary Poppins pulls stuff out of her bag.
Basically, yeah.
I have no doubt they could fit the crate in there at this point.
Yeah, to put in the pocket dimension, as one does.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so they give this suit of armor to Mr. Wickles.
Yeah, that name
Does it ring a bell for you?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Can't figure out from where, besides here, but...
Have you seen Scooby-Doo, the live-action movie?
That's it.
Specifically, it's Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
Which, when we get there, I'll talk about how those titles should have been swapped. But, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like, they had to have the most iconic stuff from the first episode in the movie.
Of course.
I'm so glad.
Yes.
So, this man, the first person who, besides the gang who we have met, really, tells us the story of this suit of armor.
Which turns out to be complete bullshit.
I'm also very confused about it. Okay. He says it only comes alive during, like, the full moon or something?
Yep.
Which of these nights is the full moon?
Supposedly the one, like, that first night at the very beginning of the episode.
Yeah, so, like, the second night when they go into the museum is not a full moon.
Full moons can last multiple days, I think. Right?
Is that?
Hold on. Let's see. Up to 3 days.
Okay. I was about to say, like, this is, like, pulling on my Buffy knowledge, where, like, they do that with the werewolves in that show, of, like, werewolves actually turn for, like, 3 days. Like, the full moon, and the day before, and the day after.
Yeah. So this is plausible, at the very least.
Okay, so the Black Knight is working off of, like, those rules.
Yep,
even
working
though
off the Buffy
it's
rules 30 years before it was a thing.
It's totally fine. My brain just, like, died for a minute there. It's fine. Yeah.
We're talking about the full moon.
Yeah, so, like, this, even though it's not real, it just operates off of these rules, I guess. Mr. Wickles knows. Spoilers for who it is. But...
Yep.
It's fine.
It's fine.
He
all
just
spoilers all the time.
All spoilers all the time. I feel like maybe for Mystery Incorporated we could, like, go no spoilers, just because
that one definitely has, like, more. It has more, like, overarching storyline, so sure, we can do that.
Yeah. Everything else is fair game. But, like, okay, so this man just, like, terrorizes these children overnight.
Yep.
That's fine. It's fun.
Also, I don't mean to be fatphobic, but how did he fit the armor on himself? The man does not look tall enough to fit in there. Okay,
so this is just making me think of, like, when I first saw the movie Coco, actually. You see, like, the photo in the movie and how, like, those broad-chested, like, shoulders.
Yep.
And then at the end of the movie, it's like, oh no, it was actually... Oh god,
Hector?
I've forgotten everyone's name. Hector. It's actually Hector who was the one in the photo all along. And I'm like, those shoulders...
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure? They have different body types entirely.
Right. Like, one is, like, broad shoulder, like...
and shorter.
Big barrel-chested guy, kind of shorter, and then one's, like, pencil.
Tall and lanky. He's a stick!
Stick boy.
These are not the same men.
Nope.
Anyway, it's cartoon logic.
Yep, cartoon logic.
As all things are. It's Scooby-Doo. I'm sorry, we have to suspend the disbelief, like, so high.
This was also a cartoon in the 60s. I don't think anyone really cared about continuity at that time.
No one cared. No one. Not at all. Even though they're like, there are clues. And I don't think you're actually supposed to be able to figure out the mysteries most of the time.
I did, though. For this one, anyway.
He's the only man you speak to.
Exactly.
He's the only person that we talk to in this whole episode.
Well, for most of it.
I mean, who isn't the gang until we solve the mystery? He's the only person.
Yep.
Oh my god. It's just terrible.
Yep.
But it's still iconic.
True.
So, as they're leaving, Scooby just sees these glasses just chilling on this, like, lion statue. Just like, okay, I'm Scooby-Doo. I'm just gonna pick them up and, like, wear them because they look weird and funky. And that's what he does. That's
fashion icon Scoobert D-Doo.
That's what he be like. And so when they're in the van, everyone's just like, "Hey, what's up?" And Scooby's just like, "Hi."
And then everyone else is like, "What the fuck are those glasses you have there, my dude?" And then because this is 1969, they don't have Google, so they go to the library.
Yes, children, before Google was invented, we had libraries. Libraries still
exist, Charlie.
I was saying that we still have them. I feel like people use the virtual ones more often, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I live across the street from a library. I still use it.
I don't remember when I was last at a library. Not gonna lie. I'm part of the problem.
You could take your kids to the library. Not
I
your kids, but like the kids you teach. That's what I meant to say.
Ethan, they cannot read.
They can look at pictures. They have eyeballs.
They will destroy your books. They will destroy your livelihood. They are toddlers.
That's fair. That's fair.
The amount of books my co-teacher has bought for them that they have just ripped up.
Yeah. I guess
so
that
sad.
makes sense. Toddlers don't know their own strength.
No, they do not. So
anyway, they go to the library.
They go to the library, and it is the iconic scene. I feel like you see like this everywhere. It's the Scooby-Doo moment where they're all just like and they're all staring at this like book and
they turn to a camera that they cannot see.
It's
we
like
see
in The
all
Office,
of their faces.
Even though I've never seen that show.
Well, in The Office they could see the camera, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, but still they stare at the camera.
Well, and that is a picture. That's a moment that you've recreated. Actually,
I did. In fact, I did draw a thing. I draw things.
You do. You're very good at it.
Well, thank you, Ethan. But this is just like, this is such a funny scene to me when I like rewatch it every time because I'm like, these glasses are only made in England. Whoa! This man who has an English name.
Whoa! Yeah, the clues definitely get better from here. The only way to go is up.
It's so terrible, but it's so funny.
Okay, they didn't know what they were doing. This is the first time any show like this was ever being made.
It's true. At some point, I think we should do like a bonus episode talking about the background of what they wanted to do with this show.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll be so fun. But so yeah, they're just like extrapolating on these glasses that Scooby found. They're often used by like archaeologists, and they're made in England. And this one man who's missing, who, I mean, do we technically mention that Mr. Wickles is like, oh yeah, he was supposed to be delivering this. So I guess he's missing.
Yep. Doesn't seem very concerned for his colleague from across the pond.
No, not at all.
Which is a little suspicious. That's suspicious. That's weird.
Very interesting. But yeah, so they figure that out and they're like, let's go sneak into the museum and figure out what the fuck's happening.
Pretty much.
That's the whole plan. It's a great plan, guys.
And then they show up, they go to the back door, and they can't get in because it's locked, because, it's a museum.
Why would it be locked, Ethan? Why?
I don't know. Because people have a habit of locking doors. At least I do.
Well, you do. Maybe not everyone.
I can't speak for everybody else, but that's why I would do it.
And this is the moment where Fred pulls out the freaking ladder from the Mystery Machine.
That's like 30 feet long and doesn't fold because it's a wooden ladder.
God, Fred. So
there's a pocket dimension inside the Mystery Machine's trunk, I'm telling you.
It doesn't even have a trunk. It's a van.
The back.
Yeah.
The back of the Mystery Machine.
The back of it. Yeah, so they pull that out, and then there's also like this, God, what is it that he pulls out? It's like it's a jack?
It's a jack. Jack.
To try to
normally used to like to make
ladder.
the ladder go up farther because it's still not tall enough. Which number one, these are teenagers, so I can understand why they're doing dumb shit, but like a little dangerous,
Oh, just wait for what Shaggy does when they're when they're like, oh, we need someone to go and reach that window up there. Who can do it? Oh, Shaggy. He's like the best gymnast in the school. And also
he's also like the tallest and the skinniest. Yeah.
Like he's just like he can fit into this tiny little window because he's tall and skinny. That's why.
Yep.
And so he runs all the way up, and then he has to like.
So then he jumps through the window and crashes through multiple floors. Which somehow doesn't set off any alarms. Somehow. He wakes up in he ends up in a pile of rubble with a helmet on. So good for him.
It's fine.
We love that.
And then he opens the door for them.
And he opens the door, and they all get inside.
Well, we're in the museum.
Yep.
We did it. But there are like eyes following from this like one little creepy dude in the background.
Yeah.
Like
the
whole while they're in there.
Yep.
Don't know what's going on with that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's weird. But what do we have to do? We have to split up and look for clues.
We do.
And Scooby's going to guard the door.
Yep.
But that
he doesn't want to do it.
very long anyway.
Even though Fred gives him 2 Scooby snacks to do it.
Yep. Because Scooby, like, what does he do? He hears, like, a noise and then, like, runs to Shaggy. Yeah, so Scooby just, like, chickens out, as one does.
As one does.
And then goes with Velma and Shaggy. Honestly, it's fun how, like, there's just not a lot of a plot in this section of the show. It's mostly just hijinks. But I still wrote down notes for things that were funny.
There are quite a few of them.
One of my favorite moments is where Velma's like, "Oh no, we lost Shaggy," and like he just walked out of frame.
As he just walked down the hall.
Like he just
in theory, she should be able to see him still.
Yeah, he walked down the wrong hall.
Yep.
It's just so silly and stupid. And then like we gotta have the bit of like Scooby's chattering jaw. You know, like he's scared, he's terrified. Velma, is this animal abuse? What she does to him?
Tying his mouth shut?
Is this?
I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like this could be...
I definitely... I can see how you would see it that way, and... I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how this works on actual animals, but considering Scooby is sentient, this is definitely...
That's like some kind gagging a person, right?
Yeah, that is the equivalent of gagging a person.
I understand why she did it, and it wasn't for a long time.
Yeah.
But like, not a great look there, Velma. Not a great look.
Velma, I don't want to cancel you in episode 1. Please. Just your show.
She's my girl, though. I love Velma.
You are Velma.
We've established this.
We have. Folks, we have in fact done like Who Are You in the gang quiz, and obviously Ethan is Velma, and I am Shaggy. Yep. You've got the glasses, and I've got the hair.
True. But I have the dog, which is a little weird.
You also have the beard, and I also wear glasses, so...
This is true. Now you just need an orange sweater. That'd be great.
Do it. This is your Halloween costume.
Gender bent Velma.
Do it. Do it.
That's an interesting idea.
Ethan.
I'll look into it. I'll see what I can do.
All right. So we also get our first time of the iconic bit of Velma losing her glasses.
Yep.
And
how blind is she? How blind is she? Because like when I'm not wearing my glasses, granted, my vision's nowhere near as bad as some people's, but I can still make out the general shape of what a person I know looks like.
Would you think that a suit of armor was Shaggy?
No. And in theory, the suit of armor should have been like clanking, right? Because there's metal.
True. I feel like it should have clanked more in the episode.
Probably.
But
4 out of 10, not enough clanking.
Oh my god, we should rate the episodes.
Amazing. We love that.
Yeah. This is also another one of my favorite little things from this episode. Velma giving Shaggy the cold medicine.
That she just has.
It's so
right?
Stupid.
It is stupid.
It's so stupid. I love it.
Well, like Velma doesn't have a bag or a purse or anything, so is she keeping it in like her bra or something?
The pocket dimension. It exists like everywhere and anywhere you want it to.
Apparently. Oh, I know what it is. It's Hammer Space. So Hammer Space is, for those who don't know, Hammer Space is a pocket dimension where cartoon characters can just grab anything out of. Most of the time it's hammers, hence Hammer Space. Like Bugs Bunny grabbing like stuff to like dress himself up, or like Wile E. Coyote grabbing dynamite and anvils and stuff from nowhere. That's where it's coming from. This is just a thing in animation.
Yeah, it really is. I love it. And yeah, she hears the Black Knight trying to like speak in the and she's like, "Oh, Shaggy, you have a cold again." And then Shaggy like speeds up
so dumb
as she's about to put it in the Black Knight's mouth, I guess. Is that
I don't know how she would have done that, because the Black Knight doesn't have like an exposed mouth.
I mean, she was still like literally putting the spoon out, and then like Shaggy went right into the spoon. Yep. And it was so funny. It's great.
Yep.
And it's
we
so
do
stupid.
Love that.
But they get her out of there. She's fine. And we really haven't found a lot, honestly.
No. Not much has happened as of right now.
Oh, I think this is also when Scooby's hiding in the pot, which is like...
Yeah.
It's an iconic moment from the theme song, so you gotta mention it.
You do.
But the gang...
I feel like every... There's at least one part of every episode in Where Are You that's in the theme song, as it should be.
Yes. Absolutely. It's very good that way. So they regroup as a gang.
Yep. And Shaggy, of all people, see that there's a painting missing.
Yeah.
That was there when they were at the museum earlier.
Yeah. It's weird. How this happens, my notes don't fully tell me what was going on, but like I just remember Scooby jumping on Shaggy and then they go into the other room.
Yep.
Is this
Well, Scooby-Doo's a Great Dane, for one thing.
It's true.
Those dogs are gigantic. Like, if a Great Dane stood up on its hind legs, it would be taller than me, probably.
It's fine. Like, I can believe that. The cartoon logic here, they just, like, go into the other room. And then Shaggy's like, that painting is gone. And, like, I love the animation thing where it's, like, you can see that, like, there's like a square.
Outline of the painting that was there.
It's so good.
So that painting was there for a really long time, or the animators just wanted us to know that there was a painting there at some point.
Unclear. But when they bring the gang back in there, the painting's already back. What?
Crazy.
Huh. So we're still looking for clues. And what I believe Daphne finds is that blood? What is it? It's red? No, it's paint.
It's paint. It's just paint.
But still, why is there just like wet paint?
A splotch of paint on the floor. Yeah.
I wonder.
So they follow the trail of paint over to a sarcophagus.
Because there's always a sarcophagus. And there's always a hidden room. Because, of course, you open it and then there's a secret room.
Yep, there's a secret room behind the sarcophagus where the people in the museum are committing art fraud.
Yay!
Making counterfeit art and selling it. Or they're selling the real art and keeping the fake art and putting it on the wall. We don't know.
The original AI art.
Exactly.
Copy, paste.
Pretty much.
That's all it is.
And then...
But shortly after, the Knight finds them.
The Black Knight just shows up.
Because of course.
Because it sees the sarcophagus is open.
You're in his lair.
Wait, no. Daphne opens a door to get out, and the Black Knight's just there. Because why wouldn't he be?
Again, you're in his lair. Chances are you're gonna find the guy. Like,
yep, true.
He's either gonna sneak up on you, or he's gonna be trying to get in. So, not great.
So...
More hijinks, more shenanigans. We all have to run away.
Though we don't get the iconic Scooby-Doo hallway scene yet, which I thought we were going to get, but we didn't.
We'll get to the iconic hallway scenes.
We will get there. But I thought that was something they started like from the get-go. No, not this time.
I don't remember when that starts, but one of my most favorite ones is in an episode of the new Scooby-Doo movies. I'm just imagining it right now. It's so good. It's so great. I love the hallway scene.
We love that.
I love it.
So they chase into a relic room, which I find to be a kind of a misnomer because the things in this room come from all different eras of history. But the things they choose to hide in were from, like, according to the date of the premiere of this cartoon, only 50 years old.
Is that still a relic?
I don't think so.
What qualifies as a relic? Tell me, Google.
I have no idea. I'm not an archaeologist. I don't know.
Oh, this is fun. Google, an object treated with great respect because of its connection with a saint or martyr, or something left behind after decay or disappearance, relics of ancient cities.
Okay.
Thank you, Google. That really wasn't helpful.
No, not really. I don't know. Anyway, they hide in a tank, or at least Fred, Daphne, and Velma hide in a tank, which is in there. And Shaggy and Scooby hide in a biplane.
I believe in this scene, there's also a moment where they're doing the hiding under the table thing.
That does happen later.
That happens later?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the next thing that I had in my notes.
Okay. Well, so the Black Knight is looking around, and Shaggy's trying to throw him off, so he throws his voice to a pot by the door at the entrance of the room.
This is my favorite of Shaggy's superpowers that he has. Like, I feel like it's underutilized in modern takes.
I don't remember seeing him do this ever again.
He does it a few times in Scooby-Doo media. Not often, but, like, it does happen. And I want to see it more. Yeah,
I'd love to see Shaggy just be a ventriloquist for a while. Apparently he can do it pretty well. Well enough that the Black Knight is distracted and goes over to the pot to see if there's somebody in there.
Well, Scooby was hiding in a pot earlier, so...
He was, but that pot did not have a lid.
It's true. It's true.
And Scooby turns the plane on with his tail, which I don't know if it's that easy to start a biplane, for one.
This is the first time that Scooby accidentally turns on a plane that he is sitting in idly.
Yep.
And it will not be the last time.
No, it won't.
I'm recalling the episode The Ghost of the Red Baron, where that happens multiple times in the episode.
Yep, it's on brand.
Oh, Scooby.
And Scooby somehow gets an aviator's cap. We don't know where it came from.
Hammerspace. What have you. It's fine.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We're rolling with it, but more importantly, they are driving a plane in this museum, and they don't destroy everything in it.
Apparently the museum has ceilings that are just way, way up, because this plane was, one, hanging from the ceiling. So
was it?
I don't know where that happened, but
I thought they were like driving it on the floor for a bit there. And then I watched this episode twice in the past like couple days. I thought they were driving it on the floor, then they go through a doorway, the wings come off.
Yep.
And then they fly through the air, even though it has no wings.
Hey, physics.
There are no physics. It's Scooby-Doo.
True.
And then they hit the Black Knight Ghost.
Yep. Just run straight into him.
Yeah. And it's great. And we didn't even get a Fred trap.
No. I feel like that's more of a Mystery Inc. thing, right? At least that's where they really kind of honed in on him liking to do that.
No.
From what I've seen.
I think that show was like, let's take all the gimmicks from the old shows and like turn them up to 11.
Yeah, because like that was Fred's like personality in Mystery Inc.
Yeah, he does do it in the classic stuff.
Okay.
But he just doesn't do it in this episode.
Nope, not this time.
All right, and this is where we unmask him. Hey, look, it was Mr. Wickles all along.
Dun, dun, dun.
The only person we met in the entire episode. Oh, iconic.
Love that.
Beautiful. So, and then what do they have to like explain why all this happened?
Yep. They lay out exactly how they figured everything out as far as why they were doing it, why Mr. Wickles was doing the things he was doing.
Art thief.
Yep.
That's it. He was stealing the art and he wanted to scare people away. Even though again, we don't see a lot of characters in this episode. So
right. So who's he trying to keep out?
Maybe it was just the kids. Like maybe he just did this to the kids.
It was like these kids are poking around too much. I gotta take care of them somehow. Which that didn't even happen until after they found the suit of armor. And then like the reason that he took out Professor Hyde White was because he'd be able to spot a fake piece of art.
Yes. Which makes sense. So I think what happened is that he kidnapped this man.
Yep.
And then he's like, oh shit, there's like kids. I'm just gonna like leave this here. I can't even like sneak the night away. So he just like runs for the hills, nopes out of there. And then when they bring the armor to the museum, he's like, oh, you don't want to mess around with this. It's spooky. It's scary. He's just trying to scare these kids off because they're kind of like almost caught him already.
Pretty much. Like nearly red-handed from the get-go. Though either these kids are stupid, which probably tracks, or he's a very good liar.
I think the answer is it's a cartoon.
So both.
Both. All at once.
Both is good.
But we do find out what happened to Professor Hyde White. He was, in fact, the creepy eyes inside that, like, statue thing.
Yep.
That was him. He was in there all along.
Mm-hmm. Tied up, gagged, so he couldn't talk, just looking at everybody.
Poor man. Terrifying.
That's terrible. Like,
that's awful.
He probably hasn't eaten or drank anything.
It's only been like a day, at least.
Having been without food for a day, you feel it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's not terrible, but at least, he was only in there for a day.
Fair enough.
And yeah, that's like the episode. They do more explanation when they get him out too.
Yep. And then Professor Hyde White explains like, yeah, that legend's complete bullshit. He made it up to keep people away.
Yeah.
Says that he got into the armor at the train station, which we never saw, but apparently exists.
It's another scene that just happened, but
beforehand.
Just didn't get to know what happened. It's fine.
Yep.
And yeah, that's the episode.
It is indeed.
Fun thing is, I didn't know that like half the voices that I recognize in Scooby-Doo are in fact Don Mezek, who is the original voice of Scooby.
Nice.
Like I'm just like, oh, this guy's in like every single episode, you know, like he voices like this character in the background and this character in the background and that evil guy.
Yep.
I think Scooby-Doo was like the voice of half the cast, actually, in the background.
Well, Scooby doesn't have a lot of speaking lines.
Exactly.
So you can, and the show is being made pretty cheap anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can see why they would have him do that.
Yeah.
Like you'd be able to tell if like Casey Kasem or one of the other actors, I honestly don't know the voices of the rest of the cast.
Well, Frank Welker is Fred.
The really?
Yeah, Frank Welker.
I thought Frank Welker was the voice of Scooby. That's weird.
He is in modern stuff.
Not back then, though.
Not back then.
Okay.
So Frank Welker is the voice actor who stuck with the franchise the longest because he's been alive the longest.
Yep.
But he's the original voice of Fred, and then he takes over the voice of Scooby in, like, I want to say the early 2000s.
Let's see. Oh, he is alive?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay, cool.
He still voiced Fred on one of the more recent Scooby-Doo shows, too. Not Velma, but Scooby-Doo and Guess Who.
Yeah, 2002.
Yes. Okay. I was going to say, I know it's, like, around the time of the live actions, but he wasn't the Scooby in the live actions. So
no, it was 2002.
Yeah, it was like post-Hex Girls era Scooby-Doo.
Yes. It was a cultural reset.
It truly was. But yeah, like, Frank Welker and Casey Kasem are, like, the most iconic ones as far as, like, the original cast.
Mm-hmm.
Daphne's voice actress, Stefaniana Christofferson.
Stefania?
Listen, I can't read, actually. I don't.
I'm assuming it's Stefania.
That would make sense.
Stefaniana. That's a name.
I have never read that name before. I've heard
I haven't either.
But I've never read it. So
though in modern versions of Scooby-Doo, she's voiced by the same actress who plays Azula, which I did not know until just now.
You didn't? You didn't know?
No, I had no idea. No.
Ethan, get an education.
What do you think this is, Charlie?
This is true. This is me giving you an education in cartoons because this is what I do. This is what I love.
Yes.
Is cartoons and cartoon media. I know my iconic versions of Daphne and Velma, but Stefaniana Christofferson and Nicole
Jaffe? I don't know.
I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry.
I think it's Jaffe. I have no idea.
Yeah, they're the original voices, but you don't hear them much after, like, the original show.
No.
Yeah. I know my iconic Velma, and that's Mindy Cohn. She's the one from Mystery Incorporated.
Of course.
Yeah. She's got the, like, really sassy, sarcastic Velma down.
Which I am 100% here for. I love sassy Velma. Because, like, I know that the character's a bit more one-dimensional in Where Are You? But, because, like, Velma's kind of like a bumbling nerd.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
it's fine.
That can't really be helped right now.
They are just archetypes. Okay?
Yeah.
We have our, like, little nerd. We have our, like, strong leader. We have our cutesy girl.
Yep.
Who is a damsel.
We have a stoner and we have the dog.
Yep. All right.
Though it's never outright confirmed that Shaggy's a stoner, I don't think. At least not here. Now,
I don't think in any official Scooby-Doo media.
It is heavily implied in the live-action movie that he is.
I was gonna say, in the first live-action movie, what's her name? Mary Jane?
Mary Jane.
Yeah, he's like, that's my favorite name. Marijuana joke right there.
Well, and also there's a scene toward the beginning of the movie where him and Scooby are cooking inside the Mystery Machine.
True. I forgot. Yeah, I don't know of any, like, other media that's not, like, the TV shows and films, because that's what I know of Scooby-Doo. In those, it's never confirmed. It's just a joke in the live action. But if it's actually confirmed in, like, I don't know, one of the comics or something, that would be fun.
I don't know. Yeah, they've never confirmed it. Yeah. Never. And apparently Matthew Lillard doesn't think he does either.
Matthew Lillard is a perfect voice for Shaggy, but
that's a bad take, my man.
He's wrong.
That's a bad take.
He's incorrect. You played him in the live action. You know he's a stoner.
You spoke these lines. You know this happened.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about some trivia about this episode before we completely just keep going off about things.
Yep.
So
let's do it.
I mean, this is the first episode ever of anything.
Yep.
I love that that's the first note in the trivia. That this is it.
Wow.
Wow. Amazing. Interesting. Fun things. there are 3 moments from this episode that are in the opening and closing sequences.
Yep.
When the Black Knight is standing over Scooby casting a shadow, when Scooby's in the flower pot, and then when the gang are reading the book. And
they all look at the camera.
Yeah. Okay, so I didn't know that the title card in this episode was different.
Is it?
Apparently.
I guess I wasn't paying that much attention.
Yeah, this episode and the next episode are different than any other ones because they show the monster, but the rest of them, they show the gang running with the title.
Interesting.
Which, okay, I do remember that. That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no human food in this episode. There's just Scooby snacks.
That's a weird thing to point out about this.
That is so funny. We don't have to read all of these.
No. Let's pick some good ones.
Oh, I do think this next one's funny. That there's almost the exact same scene is recreated in an episode of What's New Scooby-Doo.
Love that.
In the episode, it's mean, it's green, it's the mystery machine. Once again, Scooby and Shaggy are walking home from a movie late at night, and then they come across a vehicle.
Yep. So another thing we kind of touched on earlier, Fred is not named in this episode at all. Daphne is, because Shaggy says her name. That's the only time I can remember that happening. But apparently, one of his working names was Ronnie, which is in the trivia for this episode.
God, that's so funny. Okay.
Can you imagine?
This is interesting to me here, where it also says that, did they change the gang in this episode? Or, okay, no, they're saying that in this episode, Shaggy is the leader of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Fred is the smartest member, and it's just Scooby that's the comic relief.
Mm-hmm. That's wild. That is wild to me. I never got that impression at all.
I never got Shaggy being the leader from this episode.
No, because Fred was the one who came up with the plan, right? He was
I could see Fred being the smartest one, maybe. But I also think he's the leader, and that's why he's supposed to be smart.
Right.
According to, this logic of the team.
Because, I think every member of Mystery Inc. is smart in a different way.
Oh, yeah. We've got, Velma's her book smart.
Yep.
Daphne is... Okay, when I was rewatching things, the past couple weeks, I've been rewatching Scooby-Doo. Daphne is... What's her face? Elle Woods. Daphne is Elle Woods.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. She's a Legally Blonde smart.
Yeah, we love that. Big fan.
Fred likes convoluted plans.
Yes, but he's also the most, spatially smart. He knows how to make use of space that he has available.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So, you could also say he's, engineering smart, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Shaggy and
Scooby
Scooby culinarily smart.
Yeah, you're right.
You seen those giant-ass sandwiches they've made? Well, they didn't make one here, but they will.
You could say that's also architectural.
True. Hey, sandwich architecture is nothing to scoff at.
I want to see them build a building out of food.
Like a house of cards with pieces of bread, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. They're the ones building it, not me.
True.
All right, another few minor changes here. Oh, I forgot. Daphne is the first one to say, "Scooby-Doo, where are you?" Beautiful.
Yep.
I love it.
Love that. Oh yeah. So we come to the gang, they're already established, as friends.
Yeah.
We don't see their first time solving a mystery together until a pup named Scooby-Doo, which is quite a while from now.
Yeah, correct.
Crazy.
We just, what did we say? We're in media res. That's just how Scooby-Doo is. It just starts off this is how it be. It's the 60s, man. Hanna-Barbera was coming up with a bunch of different shows. They're
just churning shit out left and right.
And this one just ended up being a banger.
For those of you who have seen Scoob, the villain of that movie, Dick Dastardly, he was in another Hanna-Barbera cartoon. I forget exactly what it was called, but the whole point of that show was that these people are racing and he's trying to sabotage everybody. That was his whole character. His whole thing.
We've talked about this off mic, but Scoob is just, it's a love letter to Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, just in general, as opposed to just Scooby-Doo.
If you want to say it's not a great Scooby-Doo movie, that's fine. But
it's a good crossover movie, I will say that.
Yeah, the whole point of it was to be hey, they made a lot of fucking cartoons that were cool.
That were okay.
They want to celebrate the things that they made.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Fun stuff. Okay, so there have been like several like modern Scooby-Doo shows that have like done the iconic like, hey, they look at the camera like moment.
Yeah, that happened in Mystery Incorporated when they looked at a computer instead of a book, but at least that's the one I can remember.
Yeah, it's fun when they do stuff like that. God, Scooby-Doo is just like very self-referential as a media.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
But you have to start somewhere. And this is where it all started.
And the fact that they started here.
Yep.
It's wild sometimes.
The easiest mystery to ever solve. We love that.
The only man we spoke to today. It was him.
Exactly.
He did it.
Also, the complete lack of a British accent on Professor Hyde White, even though he's supposed to be a British man.
He had an accent?
It was not a British accent.
Yeah. It could have been better. Not gonna lie. It's fine. Well, hey, bro, we did it. We talked about Scooby-Doo.
We did.
Are you excited?
We did. I'm very excited.
Are you gonna join me on this journey?
I'm in it for the long haul, Charlie.
Okay, I'm getting out my U-Haul. I've decorated it like the Mystery Machine.
I walked right into that. I walked directly into it.
You're welcome.
Listeners, is a joke between me and Charlie that I dress like a lesbian, and that's probably where Charlie got the U-Haul thing from.
Yeah, we've already figured out that you're a U-Haul lesbian too.
Correct.
It's fine. It's fine. Well, we're here. We're queer. We're gonna go on this mystery solving journey together.
We are.
But for now, gang, let's split up and go look for clues for our next mystery.
Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.
You can follow this podcast's socials at Mysteries in the Machine Pod on Instagram. You can send a message to our email, mysteriesinthemachinepod@gmail.com. Be sure to give us a rating, a review, or let your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Ethan, on Instagram and Threads at ethan.t.hewlin. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram. Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.